Now we are on the western side of the country and it is really beautiful over here. There's a different landscape, different feel. We're just outside of Galway where our group is staying for a couple of days. And today what we're experiencing is a very typical Irish summer. There's a chill in the air. There's some haze behind us. It's had a little mist this morning, but it's a really great change of pace.
We've also finally started to really get our feet under us as far as this tour goes. We're hitting the ground running, we're moving across the country. You've probably seen a lot of the stories that we've done. A big theme for this tour is livestock. And managing that livestock is very difficult here in Ireland. You know, you can't really do it by hand, so enter the sheepdog. In the rolling hills of Western Ireland, this is a common sight, herding livestock from one pen to the next. What they all have in common, their four-legged helper.
Pip's breed is Border Collie.
At Glengalla Mines, Pip is the star.
And off she goes.
With just a whistle from Keith Gagan, she can move an entire flock of sheep.
The only thing you have is yourself and your dogs. So if you can train your dogs right, you can control your sheep.
Gagan and his family have raised sheep on this land for generations. Today, his work includes much more than farming.
I said, gosh, maybe we could do something with it and open it up as tourism. So I was travelling on holidays and I went into a mine in England. And I said, gosh, I could do this. So we moved from that to developing the mine, to opening it, making an income on the farm with the mine. And so, yeah, we could make an income, but we still couldn't survive. So what did we do then? People often asked us how we farmed. So I said, I might as well make money. And so we did a sheepdog.
For these Louisiana students, it's a lesson balancing tradition and innovation. Sophie Kay from Vernon Parish has 3 dogs back home. And while they don't herd sheep, she says they're essential on the farm.
They've helped us know whenever our animals are sick and are being off. So like whenever we've had goats in the pastures and they're not wanting to go up with the rest of our goats, they can get under the fences and go and try to get them up.
And Sophie knows a little something about sheep too.
I placed second in Sheep Premier Exhibitor this year at state, which was really amazing because it was my first year and I've just learned along the way.
Another student, Danielle Lovell of Vermilion Parish, also shows livestock back home.
I really enjoyed the sheepdog demonstration today. I really liked seeing Pip go herd them and bring them back over here. It was great.
She says you don't see many sheep in Louisiana, a trait she attributes to the different landscapes.
This is very uneven. We have a lot of even land, and I feel like this is very hilly when ours is very there's a little bit of hills, but not really. And the grass is, I'm gonna say this, the grass is a lot greener here than it is in Louisiana. Ours is brown.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah.
For Dalton Koziev of Voiles Parish, this was a familiar sight. He's seen collies work cattle before, so he knows the benefits of having a working dog.
It's easier with a dog because they're faster and the sheep are scared of the dog. The sheep aren't scared of humans. They run away from the dog, so they use the dog they put the dog where they don't want the sheep to go, so the sheep go the opposite way.
Gagan welcomes the oohs and ahs because to him, agritourism is about more than just business.
In Ireland, we don't get this. You know, the schools don't come to see it. And if they do, the kids have no interest. You know, you see kids coming here and you could show them a sheepdog, and if the phone, you can see them, they're texting on their phones. Whereas I've never seen one of your guys ever to be texting on a phone. They all have the interest and want to do it.
A lot of our stories and tours here in Ireland have been focusing on the new experiences, new commodities, new ways of doing agriculture.
One thing very familiar to our group from Louisiana is seafood. We have it at home. There also is a great seafood industry here. In this water behind us are millions of oysters waiting to be harvested. For a group from Louisiana, this oyster farm may not seem like a new experience, but it's safe to say these Louisiana 4-H students are getting up close and personal with the growing Irish industry. David Keane loves to host groups at his farm, Connemara Oysters. He says with recent trade changes in Europe, the aquaculture industry has a ton of room to grow in Ireland.
When you consider since Britain has left, Ireland now has the largest coastline within Europe. And so when you consider the future of food, we all accept in farming it's the future of food. The future of seafood has to be in aquaculture. And having such a large coastal line within Europe makes Ireland a very important centre for the future of aquaculture.
Keane's farm, in his words, lands right in the middle of the large and small oyster operations in the country, and it's seeing a lot of growth potential.
At 100 tonnes production, I would put us at I'd say, the biggest of the smallest and the smallest of the biggest. Traditionally, agriculture has been our mainstay, and it's only in the last 20 years, I would imagine, that oysters have become, and aquaculture has become important, and it's a growing industry.
Helping the industry and the farm grow is agritourism.
The farm couldn't survive without tourism, and there'd be no point in doing the tour if there wasn't a farm.
A tour here will cover a lot of ground, reaching back into the 1800s when this farm began.
We break it down. It's very, very simple. A little bit about the history of the farm itself, which dates back to 1893, obviously. There's the culture, etc., that goes with that. Why we do certain things with the oysters, how we grow an oyster from seed to plate, how we influence the meat content, how we influence the shape. Then with the younger groups, we do the activities, which is, how we pack oysters, how we shake the bags, and then we get them involved. And they get to do a little bit of hands-on activity.
We're unhooking, shaking, turning, hooking again. Make sure you loop it under.
That's Kelsey Bruce of Union Parish. She's one of the students learning about the work involved in bringing oysters from the water to the dinner plate. She says that she had no clue how much went into making sure those oysters on the plate are a uniform size.
Which I guess I should have known that since I see every oyster the same size, but I just thought they all grew that size. I didn't think they grew different.
For the competitions, Kelsey and Lily Warner were on a team.
We're not winning this.
Warner is a student from Natchitoches Parish.
I was expecting it to be a lot more messy than it was, but we had gloves and whatever, so it was fun.
While it's all fun and games for these students, they are also building friendships that will last far beyond a trip to the Emerald Isle.
Yeah, you're kind of forced to get out of your comfort zone because you're forced to explore and you meet a lot of new people.
I think it's really fun to just get to know people from different parishes and just kind of make friends, and I really enjoyed my roommates this trip.
Strategy is important. Slow and steady wins the race.
If you stay in one place the whole entire time, then you're not going to know what the rest of the world is like to offer, and every part is different.
That was stressful, guys.
As you can tell, it was quite chaotic, but the kids had a great time. The competition was heated. But if that looks like something you want to do, well, you can. They host groups, not just for larger groups like ours, but smaller groups. You can plan your trip out here. We'll put a link at twilightstv.org so that you can plan your trip to Ireland and make this part of it.
For now, that's it for this week from Ireland. Join us next week when we're going to see one of the most beautiful sights in the world, the Cliffs of Moher, out on Ireland's west coast. For now, signing off from Ireland for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
And I'm Carl Wiggers. Back to you guys.